Hello, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. I've got a proper project for a male here, and I kind of had my husband in mind when I made this. He wears a lot of check shirts, and he does try and do a great job of being a great guy. He's stepfather to my grown-up children, and you know he did have to step up a bit when he first joined our fold. So kind of had him in mind when I made this. This isn't all stuck together, as you can see. I've just prepared it. I wanted you to see what the finished item will be, just so that we're not spending lots of time cutting things out and just makes the video way too long. But the centerpiece of this project is this shirt. And I just cut out some buttons there. A hole punch would do better with that, but do you think I could put my hands on my hole punch? I definitely can't. So this is very, very simply put together. And I've got another piece of DSP here. So this is the Perfect Peacock. Was it Pretty Peacock? Why can't I think of that now? Yeah, Pretty Peacock. DSP from the new In Colour range. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this, and the first thing I'm going to do, you need a rectangular sheet of DSP for this. So that is 4x6 and it fits quite nicely on a 5x7 card. If you wanted to make a smaller card but got less going on, then again 4x6 is ideal. So I'm just going to, I should have done this before I started, I'm just going to trim down my piece of DSP. So this is a 6x6 sheet of DSP. So I trim that down to 4x6. Don't get rid of that because we're going to use that on the rest of the card. Now the first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half. Now shouldn't really fold it in half because it means if we fold it in half it puts a crease all the way down here, but I have found that if I don't fold it, I'm finding it very difficult to get everything central, and that on that shirt there it isn't quite central. You can start to see the back of it there. So for this one we'll actually score it. I think that will be better. So we're going to fold this on the long, so short side we're going to fold it right in half. So each piece is 2 inches, and get your bone folder and just give that a good crease. Now our DSP paper stack in the different colours, the regals, the subtles, the in colours, etc. This is quite thick, so you're going to need your bone folder and some strong fingers. So if you suffer from your hands, I know sometimes people suffer with arthritis. I don't have particularly strong hands, and so the bone folder comes in handy rather, or you could get somebody to give you a hand with it. So what you need to do is make sure that that crease is pointing upwards on the right side of your shirt. So if you want your shirt to have that check, then that's how your fold needs to be. If you want that design, which is perfectly acceptable, then it will go up that way. So we've got that there. We're going to open it out and we're going to fold these pieces inwards so that that raw edge fits. And I'm going to put a light on so I can see. No, that's just turned it off. I'm struggling to see. I've got quite poor eyesight. That raw edge is going to match against that fold, and you want to get that as close as possible. So I'm just going to score that there, and then you'll do the same with the other side. So bring that raw edge to pretty much match the other raw edge. If you struggle with folding these thicker papers, then use a thinner paper. Pressed petals is much thinner. You might want to use that, or use some paper, and you could use some like photocopy paper and stamp it if you wanted to, whatever you wanted. So now we're looking at that. I've just got my instructions here to make sure I've got it right. Now we want to form the collar. Well, no, actually this is forming the sleeves. So what we're going to do, you've got your corners here, and you are going to create a fold from that corner, so that gets nice and a nice crisp corner there. But you want that to come out a bit like that. Now for that piece, let me measure that. So you know, some of you like to know the measurements of these things. Where's my ruler? The ruler has gone walkabout. left it in the other room. Find another ruler. So I have folded that, and that's come down approximately 1 3/4 inches. It hasn't got to be exact, but you do want a nice sized triangle to come out of here to form the sleeves. And then just burnish that there, and you're going to do the same on the other side. So put your nail there and then open that out, and then make sure that the fold comes right out on that corner, and then just burnish that. Just get that as exact as you can. Mine isn't perfect, but it will be fine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is turn it over and then turn it round. So you're looking at the outside of the shirt, and you're going to fold this over. No exact science, the only thing is we're folding over 2 pieces of DSP. So I'm going to fold that over there like that. It's going to start fighting with you. Just fight back. And you really want to try and get those edges flush. And I'm going to push that down with my bone folder. I'm going to show it who's boss. So we've got that there like that. Now once you've got it that way round, so they're actually your sleeves there, and we've got this here, we're going to take this corner and we're going to bring it into the middle like that, and then get your bone folder and push that down like that. And then this one's going to come over and it's going to meet it, and you'll see that now that now looks like a collar. And I'm going to push that down as well. Now the great thing about this is it doesn't need any glue, because this then comes up and the bottom, which is now the top of the shirt, just fits underneath those collars. Push it up as far as it will go. Hold on to that as you just very gently squeeze and fold down to the bottom. And there is your shirt. How smart is that? That is so cute. Now you can do all sorts of things with this. You could make a white one of these and put a dicky bow on and some black buttons. You can make a black one and then just do the same but with white, so you have a bit of a tuxedo look. Or you can have some really colourful, like the Bird Ballad DSP has a DSP that's got feathers on it, so you could perhaps do that. You could make this as big as you like. You could get a full piece of 12 by 12 DSP and make a big shirt, and you can actually, what you can do is make a card out of it. So what they've got to do is open that, and then inside you could have maybe a gift voucher or just, you know, some sort of message in there. I just think that's so simple and so cute, and I'll bet your life you'll start getting addicted to making those. So let's put the whole card together. I'll make another card of that using the Perfect Peacock, Pretty Peacock, I keep getting it wrong, Pretty Peacock cardstock and ink. So I'll just put that to one side. So here's my blue one. And I wanted to do some layers with this. So I've got one set of layers. So this is using Night of Navy cardstock. You could use Blueberry Bushel, I think that would look just as nice, and that is actually what I wanted to use, and then realised I didn't have any. And then I want that to sit there just at a little angle. If you like things to be nice and straight, then you could have that. You could maybe have these going a bit like that. Doesn't matter, there's no rule book when it comes to card making. I'm just having a fiddle with that now. There is no rule book. You can do whatever you like. No, having things at a jaunty angle doesn't sit right with me either. So I'm going to stick the white onto the blue. Now the Night of Navy is 3.5 by 4. So that's going to sit there. So let's get my glue. Oh, there's none coming out. There we are. round about kind of in the centre towards the left. And actually I was going to put, oh never mind, now I want to put this on here. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue on the back like that. You might want to use dimensionals, you might want to use mini glue dots, doesn't matter, your glue of choice. And I'm going to put that on there like that. Now let's get some buttons glued on here. So I've just had to use, I've actually used this punch, and I've just punched out a few of those. They're not ideal, but it will do. And I'm going to try and do this without making a mess. And I prefer to use my big tweezers for this. And I'm just going to run, right, get on there, thank you. Definitely trying to fight back this particular project. It dries clear, so that little bit of seepage that's come out of it is absolutely fine. Another bit of glue there, and I'll put this one at the bottom, and then I'll just put another one in the middle. But you can do whatever you like with these buttons. You could actually get real buttons if you wanted to. And I did used to have a great big pack of buttons, and I went on a big decluttering thing and gave them to somebody. And it's now at this point in time I wish I hadn't, because actually buttons would have looked nice. And just eyeball that, get that in the middle. There we are. So that none of that is moving anywhere. That all looks nice and secure. And I'm going to put that on there. The white, I never told you what the white measured. 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. But they're just for a guide. You can make these, you know, it depends on the size of your card. If you're making a 4 by 6, then you're going to go a bit smaller. If you're making a, you might even do a 10 by 8 and have a big shirt on there, you might make this into a bit of wall art. You know, it doesn't matter. So that's that on there. And then I'm going to layer these up. So I've got some Night of Navy, and this measures 1 1/4. It doesn't, it measures 2 1/4 by 5. I've got some Whisper White that measures 2 1/8 by 4 7/8, and that's going to sit on there like that. So let's get that on there. And then my DSP was that bit of scrap that I told you not to get rid of. But we do need to trim it down a little bit. So the DSP is going to measure 2 inches by 4 3/4. You can layer this up with dimensionals if you want to, but we've got a big sentiment going on this at the moment, and I will use dimensionals for that. And I'm just going to put that on there, get it central, flatten it down. I do like those contrasts of the blue. I think if I was going to match it perfectly, I would have used Blueberry Bushel cardstock, but I'm chucking the rule book out the window today. It doesn't matter. Things don't have to match exactly. So that's going to sit on there like that. So let's just get that glued on, and then we can deal with the sentiment while that's drying. Let's move that over because I've left a little splodge of glue. So our layering, oh, that needs to move a little bit. Our layering now matches each other, so that matches that. So what I want to do now, this is what I've done with this. So I've used the tailor tag punch. This is great for a for more of a masculine project because they're nice, bold, blunt corners and lines, and I think we tend to associate fellas with that. So what I've done is I've got a piece of, let me show you what I've done. I've got a piece of Night of Navy, and I've just cut 2 halves of this. So I've just pushed it halfway down the punch, like that. And I need 2 of those. And those 2 are going to sit like that with a space in between. And you need to get those nice and central. Okay, so just with some glue, and I'll use dimensionals to lift the white part. And I'll show you in a second what stamp set I've used for this. Let's got that one on there, and just put our second one on. That on there like that. Now, with my white cardstock, I have stamped on there. I'm using this stamp set, a new one that I've had. This only arrived on the other day, and I've used that sentiment. But it's got some lovely pictures on there. How great are they? And it doesn't necessarily have to be for a dad. It could be a granddad. It could be an uncle. It could be a friend, or for me, my husband or stepdad, or just a man that's special in your life. You don't necessarily have to be related or married to them. And what I did is I stamped it out onto Whisper White and then punched it out with a tailor tag punch. Find my dimensionals, which have gone off on a little wander. There they are. And just on the back of this, I'm going to be generous again and put 4 on there. My crafty friend Karen Egan won't believe that I've put 4 on this. I would normally only put 2. Super stingy. Right, let's take the last one off there. Now I just want to line this up. So I want that edge to sit there. That edge, oh, is that going to be straight? And it's moved. There we go. And then push it down. And I've stamped that out using Blueberry Bushel, which I've got over here. So I stamped that out using Blueberry Bushel, but Night of Navy would work just as well, or even black if you wanted to. But that's my suggestion. So here I've got Night of Navy cardstock, Whisper White cardstock, and I've used the Blueberry Bushel Gingham out of the in colour paper stack. So let's just fold that over, and we'll give that a little bit of a burnish. So that card size is 5 by 7 inches. So the actual piece of card that you will start with is 10 inches by 7 inches. Score down that side at 5 inches and you have a 5 by 7 card. That's just my suggestion what you could do with those sizes. You don't necessarily have to go with that. I hope you've liked this project. It's nice to do a project for a fella once in a while. I don't do too many of them. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Come and subscribe to my channel, and I will have another project for you tomorrow. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.